Hello, I'm the Progressive Disciple, and I am taking a journey through the Bible, and I am inviting you to join me. Today, we are studying Ecclesiastes chapters 9 through 12. So let's begin. In Ecclesiastes 9, chapters 13 through 16, he says, I saw under the sun this example of wisdom that greatly impressed me. There was a small city with a few people in it, and a powerful king came against it, surrounding it, and built huge siege works against it. Now there lived in the city a man, poor but wise, and he saved the city by his wisdom. But nobody remembered that poor man. So I said, wisdom is better than strength. But the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are no longer heeded. I definitely think that it is wise to know when to fight and when not to fight. It is also good to know how to handle a situation when people are angry at me. Going on. In Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verses 5 through 7, it says, There is an evil I have seen under the sun, the sort of error that arises from a ruler. Fools are put in many high positions, while the rich occupies the low ones. I have seen slaves on horseback, while princes go on foot like slaves. Well, last video, we talked about sexism and how angry I got at Solomon for his extremely sexist comment. This time, I see classism, and I come to the same conclusion. He was raised in a time when classism was everything. I'm also a man of my time, and I also find that I have been raised with classist ideas. I was a kid raised in the suburbs and saw city people as being more valuable than country people. This is wrong, very wrong, and this is something that I am working to change in myself. In Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 6, he says, Sow your seed in the morning, and at the evening let your hands not be idle. For you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do equally well. I found this interesting. I don't really know why this verse caught my attention, but I think it's interesting. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Try different things and see which works best for you. Now, I'm going back to chapter 9. Because I found something in chapter 9 that I found very disturbing, and yet I think explains the book of Ecclesiastes. In Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verses 5 and 6, he says, For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing. They have no further reward, and even their name is forgotten. Their love, their hate, and their jealousy have long since vanished. Never again will they have a part in anything that happens under the sun. This occurs to me that Solomon did not believe in an afterlife, and I think this explains why he found life so meaningless. As it says in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, 1 through 8, Remember your Creator in the days of your youth, before the days of trouble come and the years approach when you will say, I find no pleasure in them. Before the sun and the light and the moon and the stars grow dark and the clouds return after rain, when the keepers of the house tremble and the strong men stoop and the grinders cease because there are few, and those looking through the window grow dim. When the doors to the streets are closed and the sound of the grinding fades, when the people rise up at the sound of the birds, but all their songs grow faint. When people are afraid of heights and the dangers in the streets, when the almond tree blossoms and the grasshopper drags himself along, and desires no longer is stirred, then people will go to their eternal home, and mourners will go about the streets. Remember him before the silver cord is severed and the golden bowl is broken, before the pitcher is shattered and the spring and the wheel is broken at the well, and the dust returns to the ground it came from, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher. Everything is meaningless. Yes, I think I get it. I get what you were saying to me. The mistake I've had throughout the reading of Ecclesiastes is that I have been looking at it through hindsight, through what I know from the gospel. I now understand why you find life meaningless. You were born, you live, you work hard, then you die. Death, then nothingness. So, what do you think of Ecclesiastes? Give me your thoughts in the comments below. Some of my thoughts about the book, well, I think about the Sadducees that tried to trick up Jesus. They did not believe in an afterlife. And Jesus said to them, when Moses encountered God, he said, I am the God of Abraham. I am the God of Isaac. I am the God of Jacob. He is not the God of the dead. He is the God of the living. And all these people are still alive. This is the good news that Jesus has given us. Life is not meaningless. God had a plan for you before you were born. God had a plan now that you are living. And I believe that God has a plan for you even after you die. Well, this is the end of Ecclesiastes, which means it's time for a lottery. This was the hat that they gave me at my retirement party, and I decided to put it to good use. I am using this hat for the lottery to determine the next book that we study. I have scraps of paper with the name of all the books of the Bible. I'm going to empty this into the hat, make sure all of them get out here, and mix everything up. And now I'm going to select one of the pieces of paper. Here we go. The next book that we are going to study is, drum roll please, the Book of Lamentations. One book that might be even more depressing than Ecclesiastes. There are 5 chapters in this book, so I should be able to do this in one session. So I am the Progressive Disciple, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Thank you.